November 9th, 2017. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 140 of You Can Bet on That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So we had a pretty good Breeders' Cup, don't you think?
It was a good 2 days.
Yeah,
actually.
definitely. One thing that really impressed me, and I didn't realize this till after the fact, they limited the number of tickets that were sold.
Okay.
So it was, the capacity for Del Mar is like 44,000. And they only sold a little over 37,000 tickets. So
that's good.
Yeah, it was good, and we could tell. We were even talking about it.
Yeah, because we've been there on days when it's much more crowded during the regular racing season. And I was thinking, well, this is weird, but it's good they limited it.
It was great, and we didn't have any trouble with lines at the the ticket counters. I think in the infield the lines seemed to be rather long, but I think that's typical.
Yeah,
but we didn't really have a problem.
Well, the good thing about limiting it is that it's a better environment for people going. Mm-hmm. You're happier, you're not like crowded and there's long lines. So, that's good that they do that for a big event.
Yeah. And even the parking, there were a lot of...
It was amazing. The parking was amazing.
Yeah. We got in and out both times. We stayed till the Classic, the last race on Saturday. And then we had to walk back to the car, which was a fairly good hike. They didn't have trams running anymore because there were just too many people.
Too many people, right.
And I was surprised once we got to the car, we were out of there.
We just pulled right out and got on the highway.
That was great.
I've been to the races many times, and it's never like that.
No, I know.
It's always like sitting in a long line.
Yeah.
And
well, I was reading the paper the next day. It was a big success. Only, small glitches here and there. Like that first day when we were going in, we had to wait in a line. Yeah. It was a fairly long line, but it moved. And then the next day, there was no line at all.
And what was great is the weather was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. The weather really behaved, yes.
So on TV, that probably looked pretty good to a lot of people.
Yeah, so I have a feeling the Breeders' Cup's going to come back to Del Mar, sooner than later. Yeah. So how did it go for our betting? I got out of there. I actually won $23 total over the whole weekend.
Right. And I think my wife and I combined were pretty close to even. We didn't keep real accurate wins and losses, but I know the first day we won, and the second day we probably lost a little. We were pretty close. I think we were down money we spent on buying souvenirs.
Yes, okay, yes. I want to thank you. You bought me a hat. That was very nice. Wore that cap the whole weekend.
And my wife bought a tote bag that was personally signed by the artist who did it. So stuff like that.
One of the reasons, too, your wife, Lynn, on the second day, she bet on a horse called Caledonia Road.
Yeah, because her hometown is Caledonia, Minnesota.
Okay, so that was the only reason. Yeah. Well, it turned out to be a fairly long shot and won. She bet it across the board, right? $5 across the board. Yep. It came in, it paid $36.60. That's on a $2 bet. So she cleared $154.50 just on that,
yeah,
right?
And that was her own money because I refused to bet that for her. I said, no way that horse is winning.
Well, we had some good experiences that first day. When we first got there, it turns out that Harrah's, Southern California, is a huge sponsor at Del Mar.
They follow us everywhere. Everywhere.
So there was they had this big display in this open area where they had dealers dealing, blackjack for free, just for play money.
Fun.
Right, and things like that. And they had a drawing there for some gift cards from Tiffany. What you would do is when you lost a race, when your ticket was a losing ticket, you'd put your name and your phone number on this ticket and you put it in a barrel. And then after every race, they drew a name for these Tiffany's gift cards. So when we first put our tickets into the barrel, there weren't very many tickets in there.
No,
the word
there's just been
out.
one race, and I don't think everyone knew that was a promo.
Yeah. So what happened?
So the very first name they pick was me.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I never win anything. The very first name they picked.
Nice.
So, So there you go. It was a $125 Tiffany gift card.
Right. Now, we were joking online with people. $125 is not going to get you much at Tiffany's.
No, it gets you entrance into the restroom, and you can use all the toilet paper you want while you're in there.
Unlimited. That's
unlimited
nice.
Toilet paper. That's it at Tiffany's.
But, I mean, there are little trinkets that you can find.
Right.
And if you were going to buy something at Tiffany's anyway, then you
Right.
could just deduct
Well,
that
the thing
amount out
is
there.
just to win more.
Yeah, exactly.
Just win another one. So what happened in the next race?
So the next race, it's funny because they had this chart showing the winners, and your name was up there.
Right.
So the next race, I didn't see my name up there. Your wife's name wasn't up there, but I get a text saying that I'd won. So I go up there, sure enough, in the next race, I won a Tiffany gift card.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, $125. In fact, I already showed Sherry, my wife, where she's actually in need of a keychain because she's got this new job. She wants to keep these keys separate. So we can probably get a keychain for about $125 at Tiffany's. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what it'll cost.
That'll be good. So the day went on, and we stayed. That first day, I think we left like after the 8th race. There was like a 9th and a 10th race, but we left a little early.
We bet the 9th and the 10th, and then left because we were anxious to get to Harrah's.
That's right. That was a Harrah's night.
We hadn't had enough of Harrah's at the racetrack.
So as we're leaving, of course, we walk by the Harrah's thing, and we want to take a look at the chart and see if we've won again.
We kind of came around a corner, and I could kind of see the last 2 letters of my last name. I couldn't see the whole name.
Yeah.
So I just turned to my wife jokingly and I said, well, now go get your Tiffany's card and let's go.
Yeah.
And we round the corner, and sure enough, they drew her name.
Amazing.
The last one drawn, for us while we were there.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. The 3 of us, we each get a Tiffany's gift card. Yeah, so that worked out great. And it's funny because $125, and that's exactly how much we paid for tickets for the 2 days.
Yeah.
Per person, it was $50 for the Friday and $75 for the...
So we got all of our money back in Tiffany cards.
Right. So did we get our money back? We'll leave that to the listener to decide.
My wife has $250 now.
That's right.
She gets the keychain and a bag to put it in.
Put it in. Yeah.
You have to carry
Tiffany
yours
bag.
out.
The box that the gift card came in was so nice.
Yes.
I think we're thinking about giving it to somebody with like a McDonald's gift card inside.
There you go.
We got to make sure it's the right person. It might be you, Dr. Mike, so be ready for that.
Not me.
But we had a great time. Now, we had general admission tickets, so that means we did not have seats.
No.
So we did.
And I'm kind of glad we didn't. Afterwards, I was thinking to myself, if we had a box or we had some seats up there, we'd be sitting in those seats the whole time.
We wouldn't have walked around as much as we did.
No.
And
we walked 7 miles on the second day.
That's what you said.
My wife had her tracker on, and we walked 7 miles.
Yeah, I believe it. We kept going into the infield area. There is more casual than the rest of the racetrack.
Right. And it's through a tunnel. You go down and you actually go underneath the track.
Right.
So you're below where the horses run, and then you cross over into the infield. And usually during the Del Mar season, they've got a lot of things out there for kids, for instance.
Yeah, they'll have like bounce houses and things like that.
And stuff. Yeah, and then a lot more food selection.
Well, that was the thing for this. They brought in, it wasn't food trucks, but it seemed like it was a lot of independent restaurants that had set up these tents out there. So they had a ton of food choices in there. That's really where you were going to get the good food, was in the infield.
My wife and I laughed Saturday night. We laughed so hard because we're sitting there and we're telling the girls, they're asking us about our day. He said, yeah, Mark wanted ice cream. He was like, I want ice cream. I need some ice cream. So we go in the infield. We find a place that sells ice cream. The only place in the whole thing that sold ice cream. Yeah. We get there. Lynn and I get ice cream. You didn't get
no. I looked at it.
And the girls are like, well, why? Didn't he want ice cream? He said he wanted it. And Lynn's like, well, no, he wanted soft serve.
There was this big poster for a soft serve cone inside by where the entrance there, but nobody was selling it.
No, it's just a poster.
I had my sights on this soft serve. So when we went in the infield.
And this place had regular ice cream.
All they had was real ice cream.
Which was excellent. We got big scoop.
I know. You even said, hey, Mark, I'll buy you a scoop. Nah, I talked myself out of it.
It was so funny. And my girls, they're like, what? He was the one who wanted it, but he wouldn't have any?
Yeah, I don't know. But we had a great time. And in the Classic, it's funny because I told you, I said, Mike, I am not betting on Arrogate.
No, you said how did you phrase it? You were going to
ignore Arrogate?
You were going to ignore it. And then you're like, it's totally out of my mind.
Yeah.
I'm not even pretending like not even in the race.
Because Arrogate has had some great races and people have said, one of the greatest horses of all time. But his last 2 performances, which were both at Del Mar, in the first one, he didn't even place in the money. He came in 4th. And in the next one, he came in 2nd. And it's funny because the morning line, Gunrunner was the favorite and Arrogate was a close second. And at post time, Arrogant was the favorite, just barely.
Yeah. Well, it's just people betting.
I understand, but I just said, no way, I'm not going to bet them at all. And what I did, I ended up doing an exacta box on Gunrunner, Collected, and West Coast. And as it turns out, that's how they came in.
Yeah, right.
I should have done a trifecta, but
yeah. Well, neither one, the exacta or the trifecta, didn't pay all.
They didn't pay
much.
that much because it really was the second, third, and fourth favorite that came in, right? Yeah. So yeah.
But I'll tell you what, we should talk about real quick is that one race. Now, was that day 2 or day 1? I can't remember, where 3 long shots came in.
Oh, it was that
first,
second day.
Yeah.
It was that second day, and the winner was a 60-1 shot.
Right. And second and third were like 30-1 and 20-1.
Yeah, it was huge.
3 long shots. A 50-cent trifecta bet paid nearly $3,000.
Yeah.
It was $2,990 something dollars.
Yeah.
God, for 50 cents.
Yeah.
3 long shots.
That second day, I think maybe one favorite won the whole day.
Yeah, it was. They were even talking about it on the broadcast. How it's not good to be a favorite today.
Yeah.
Well, Gunrunner was a close.
Gunrunner, you could say maybe was a favorite. Yeah, not technically the favorite, but close enough.
Close enough. Yeah, but the rest of the day, boy, it was long shots all day long.
Yeah. So anyway, we had a blast, and hoping that it comes back to Del Mar soon, because we'll definitely go again.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be.
Oh, is it the weather? Oh, and the handle too. There was like, what did I read? Something like 25% more bet than the previous Breeders' Cup last year. Yeah,
really? Wow.
So it was huge.
Now, why do you attribute that to?
I don't know. Just that's a good question. I don't know what a lot of that is. Maybe more people are able to do it online, or I don't know. But it
may not
was a
be
big
any
success.
Function of Del Mar.
It may not.
May just be a sign of the time.
But it certainly bodes well for it coming back here anyway, in the future. So anyway, we went to Harrah's later that night. Actually, let's back up. The previous week we also went to Harrah's. Big surprise. Yeah. And we met up with a few listeners. First of all, Don, who we were actually expecting to see Ethan, a listener that you had met at
MGM National Harbor.
Right. But before that, Don, just a listener who just happened to be there, came up and introduced himself to us. And so we were talking to him for a while. And then Ethan did show up.
Well, he walked up and he was staring at us, and we were kind of
that happens sometimes with listeners. It's like, you think that's a listener, the way he's looking at us? Sometimes then the people just walk away. It's like, oh, no, they were just looking at the game or whatever.
But it turns out he was looking for us.
Yeah. And then Ethan showed up with his friend Patrick, who lives here in town. And
lives pretty close to me, actually.
Close, yeah. And we had a good time, but the craps table really was not
No, it was
behaving.
not cooperating
not
at
all. So not a very good night financially, but it was great to meet. All three of them. It was great to meet all of them.
It was excellent. We played quite a while.
Yeah. And then the following week, right after the Breeders' Cup, we headed up to Harrah's, and we met, as it turns out, 4 different listeners, completely unrelated.
From 4 different places.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Dr. Taylor, we knew he was going to be there.
Right.
So he showed, what's nice too, Tara, his girlfriend, sent us some honey from her brother. She sent honey because of the story last time, about you getting all that honey in your pants.
Right.
So that was nice. These little jars of home jarred honey.
Yeah, they were foolproof. So
foolproof.
I couldn't spill them.
No matter what. So it was great to see Taylor out there. And then Andrew, who lives here in town, also showed up. Then David, who lives up in Orange County, he comes down every once in a while. We didn't know that he was coming. And then also Frank from the East Coast. I had communicated with him via email. He just happened to be out for the Breeders' Cup.
He was coming for the Breeders' Cup, yeah.
He didn't have a Friday ticket, but he was going Saturday, so he came out.
Yeah, we saw him Saturday at the track.
So, we were all there, taking up one side of the table.
Yeah, I think at one point we had the whole table.
Yeah, so...
the whole side of the table.
The whole side of the table.
There was like 6 of us.
But once again, it didn't cooperate with us. It was
the dice
miserable.
were choppy that night. They were up and down. For a while, it looked like we were doing okay, and then it just kind of got cold.
Yeah.
We kind of all dispersed unevenly throughout the night.
That's it. But no, it didn't go very well. But it was great to see everybody. And you know what? We actually got a call from Tara. So let's listen to that real quick.
Very good.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Tara. Just wanted to call in and say thank you so much for babysitting Taylor on Friday night while I was busy with my sister's wedding rehearsal. He said he had a lot of fun. He called me drunk about midnight, so I knew he was having a lot of fun. A little hungover the next day for my sister's wedding, but I won't blame that on you guys.
Well, you can blame me.
I just wanted to call and say thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed the honey from my brother's house. And I realized when I was trying to call just now, I was like, I have to Google the phone number. I don't remember the phone number. It's not saved in Taylor's phone. And I was like, wait, no, I know. It's 9512 wagers. So that's actually very helpful. Thank you for that. and we will see you in Vegas. Okay, bye, guys.
Yeah, that's why we have that little jingle. It bores into your brain.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah, you were buying drinks like crazy.
I was buying a lot of well drinks for everybody. I bought a lot of drinks that night. Yeah. So, I'm probably the blame for...
You're definitely to blame. Yeah. But it worked out good. Everybody was drinking and having
it's better to go to the wedding hungover.
Yeah.
Because, the hair of the dog that bit you. So when he gets to the reception, hopefully there's somebody buying well drinks for everybody.
That's right. So everybody could get it. So anyway, some great meetups with the listeners. I just wish that the tables had gone a little bit better, but that's the way that's the way it goes.
It's nicer when everyone's winning. Someone comes to visit us and we win like crazy. Yeah, that's happened a few times, but not enough.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see real quick some news. So this last week, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf signed legislation that authorizes a huge expansion of gambling in that state. And one of the things it includes is the legalization of online gambling. And
such as
everything, at least in
poker?
Pennsylvania. Well, poker for sure, but even others, blackjack and slots and that kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big thing. But I'm thinking of it from a poker standpoint. So right now, other than Pennsylvania, there are only 3 states that allow online poker, and that's Nevada, Delaware, and New Jersey. So not huge populations in that area. So bring Pennsylvania into the mix, and if they can come up to an agreement where they can share the player pools so that players from all 4 states can play against each other, that's a big jump forward, and hopefully, nationalizing or in some way, state by state.
Now they get New York in that.
It'd be or California.
Right, you get one of those 2 states, and it'd be done.
Yeah, so that's good news. There's a lot more information as far as this expansion goes, and in fact, on the latest episode of the Casinos USA podcast, Coach Fav goes into a lot more detail on it. So I encourage people to listen to that. You get a lot more information.
Very good.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, we have got some voicemails. Remember, call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. So, first off.
Hey, guys, it's Tim from Nashville. First of all, wanted to say our thoughts are with everyone in Vegas and affected by that tragedy. I know coast to coast, people like me who love the city have everyone in their minds. Just wanted to start with that. Quick trip report. Was down in Tunica. I was in Memphis for work for a day, so went to the MGM property, the Gold Strike. This was actually my first time in Tunica. The Gold Strike was nice. Mainly a blackjack player. Had good rules even at the $5 tables, 3 to 2. But wanted to specifically thank you guys for getting me hooked on craps through listening to the podcast. I've became more confident in the game, and so this was the first time that I really, truly spent some time playing craps after listening to you guys and just had a blast. Just a whole new perspective of going to the casino with another game to donate some money towards. So wanted to thank you guys for all that you do. It's a great show, great podcast. It's provided me great entertainment. I've been trying.
I think got a cut off there. I'm not sure why. He was nowhere near the 3-minute mark, but anyway. So as we always say to people who we've kind of introduced the game of craps to, you're welcome and we're sorry.
And we're sorry.
So hopefully you'll enjoy the game, but
and it won't take over your lives. Too late for us.
Yeah, it's too late. We're doing a podcast. It's all craps. So anyway, thanks for the call, Kent. All right, next up is Alan.
Hey guys, this is Alan from Pittsburgh. First time caller. I just recently picked up your podcast. I'm on episode 92, so I feel like I'm calling into the future. But you guys definitely have me hooked on craps. Just started playing. I'm loving it so far. Just the other day, I was at a casino. I established a point of an 8 and made the point 5 straight times. Not consecutive rules, but my next point was an 8 and I made it. My next point was an 8 and I made it. And it reminded me of, I just listened to you guys rolling the hard 6 4 consecutive times, and I thought, wow, my odds were pretty low doing that, but I think you guys had me beat. Anyway, thanks for the show, guys. I love listening to it on the road, and have a good one.
All right. Well, you're welcome, and we're sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Alan's up to the one where you roll all the 8s yet.
When you were just pressing the eights.
You were pressing the eights. You were
you're right. That was after the hard sixes that I rolled in a row.
Yeah, because you got that eight up to
what was it, 2400?
No, I didn't. 2400?
Yeah, because 2500 is the max, right? I didn't get up to 3000.
You were close.
I was close. It didn't hit at 2400, but I got it pressed up there.
Yeah, you got it pressed up there. He'll like to hear that.
I would say, Alan, just wait till you get to that episode, but of course he's going to hear that before he hears this one.
Well, maybe not. Maybe he'll listen to an order.
Yeah, so you got to go back.
A month from now, hey, that's the episode I called in.
That's right. All right. Next up, Ryan.
Hey, guys. This is Ryan now from Las Vegas, Nevada. The last time I called you, I had just moved from Ontario, California out here to Vegas. Was catching up on some of your podcasts and realized that you guys are coming to Vegas the day that I'm leaving to San Diego. So I've been trying to catch you guys to be able to meet up with you. I didn't know that the summit was that same weekend, but I'm leaving the Thursday you guys are getting there. One of my buddies that I'm meeting down in San Diego actually called me and said, hey, maybe Friday night we can go over to Harrah's, Southern California. And I just started laughing because, of course the one Friday that you guys aren't there, you're in Vegas where I live now. But I'll get you one of these times. I got to meet up with you guys. I wanted to tell you about a crap story. I was at one of the station casinos that's close to where I live now the other day, and I walk up and there's 4 older gentlemen playing all on the same side, and the other side's open. So I go over there to buy in, and I look down at the table, and I see that all 6 points have the little marker that they've hit the fire. And I'm like, whoa, the fire bet. And I haven't even looked down at the other end of the table, and I talked to the dealer area, and he says, yeah, he just hit his 8th point. And I look over, and not $1 is on the fire. And all 4 of these old guys are all playing the don't. And I'm sitting there, and the first roll the guy rolls as I'm watching, he rolls the point, which was a 9, which made it his 9th point. And all the guys are, oh, dang it, they're all pissed. And I'm like, why are they still betting? If this guy's hitting now 9 points, why are they still putting so much money on the don't? Man, 9 points and the fire bet. If I was just there 40 minutes earlier, and I just try to think of the money that I would have had coming to me. But, also, one thing I wanted to share, I was at a little family reunion and found out that a very distant cousin of mine, he's like my 3rd cousin, I believe. I've never met him, but he won the largest jackpot in the history of Las Vegas. So there's probably a reason we've never met him, because distant cousins like us probably calling him asking for some of that jackpot. Did some research, and they wouldn't disclose exactly how much it was, I guess. But, yeah, hopefully I can meet up with him, get some calls, and maybe he can spot me some money, go on those craps tables. But, yeah, Vegas been going pretty good for me so far. Had a couple good crap sessions and been making most of my money on parlaying sports bets, which has been pretty good, college football Saturdays and definitely these baseball playoffs. But hopefully you have fun at the summit. Maybe next time you're in Vegas I can catch you, or when I'm in San Diego. But good luck to you. Hope those hard 6s hit, and also the fire bet. Good luck, guys.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. I went online to find out what the biggest jackpot in Vegas history was. Yeah. And what I found was it was a megabucks that hit at Excalibur back in 2003 for just under $40 million, $39,700 some thousand dollars.
Yeah.
So if that's him, that's what it was.
That's what it was. God, I'd be calling him up too. Even 3rd cousin, 4th cousin, whatever.
Yeah,
all I want is, spot me like 100,000 for one night at the craps table.
I was going to say 1,000.
Yeah. No.
Just, because I don't know him, but you're a little more bold, I guess.
100,000. Yeah, you made that. 40 million.
Yeah, really. Yeah, well, hopefully that's him.
Anyway, Ryan, I am going to be in Vegas with my dad and maybe my wife the first weekend in December.
That's right. It's the Great Gift Wrap-Up?
The Great Gift Wrap-Up, yes.
Okay. And you going to the rodeo as well?
No, we're not going to go to the rodeo.
Oh, okay.
It turns out that's the next weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to go 2 weekends in a row, but my dad really wanted to go to the gift wrap-up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's at Caesars where we pick up the gifts, but we're actually going to be staying at Harrah's.
Oh, okay, at Harrah's across the street. Okay.
And we'll be, at all the Caesars properties there probably.
Okay, good. So you and your dad for sure.
Yeah, definitely my dad and I.
Yeah.
And maybe my wife.
Okay. All right. Yeah, very good. First weekend in December.
Yeah, it's like the 1st and 2nd or something
like
of
that.
December.
Okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, you should meet up. All right, let's hear from Olivia.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Olivia. I've been binge listening to You Can Bet on That. I started a couple weeks ago, and it's the best podcast I've ever heard. One of the first podcasts I've ever heard.
That's
My
why.
question is, I go to the Sugar House in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and they have a new game there. It's a stadium blackjack. 3 hands can be played at one time. And when it first was developed there a couple of months ago, there was no surrender. I've repeatedly told the pit bosses, the dealers, this is Pennsylvania, surrender is a state law. They said, no, the Gaming Control Board already checked it out, and the game is good. Well, they've since added surrender. Is there anything that they do to compensate players who played on it without the proper rules, or do they fine the Sugar House, or is there anything that I can do? Thanks for taking my call. Have a wonderful night.
Yeah, so in Pennsylvania,
Yes.
blackjack must offer surrender.
Yeah, it's a state law.
That's the law, right? So Olivia found this, new stadium blackjack.
I'm surprised
basically
you
a
know this
machine.
because you're not an attorney.
That's right. I'm not. But I do know this. Okay. So she found a machine that was not offering surrender. Well, it doesn't matter that it's a machine or not. It's stadium blackjack, and they're dealing out cards.
It's
right?
still blackjack.
Right. So since they've actually changed the rules. So, Olivia, again, from a non-lawyer, I don't think you have much of a case of getting any kind of compensation.
Yeah, very hard to get compensation from a casino.
It would have to be probably a class action. You'd have to prove how much you played there, how much you lost as a result of, how much more you lost as a result of a surrender not being offered. I'm thinking the only thing that you really could do, and you probably should do this, is make a complaint with the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board. You go to gamingcontrolboard.pa.gov. And if you hover over the word gaming at the top of their homepage, a little menu will appear. And click on the entry in that menu that says File a Casino Complaint. That'll take you to a form where you can fill in all the information for your complaint. Just explain everything that happened. In fact, I'll put a direct link to the casino patron complaint form in our show notes. Fill that all out and send it through. As a result, there's a chance that Sugar House might get fined. But even if they're fined, you probably won't see any of that money. They might get fined, but I don't. Maybe it'll be returned to all players, everyone. Maybe there's some pool where they have to give it back to everybody. But I don't think that you'd be able to get back money just for yourself based on how much you played that game.
Right. Well, as a non-attorney, what do you think if she put up like a little stink? Maybe she gets free well drinks for life.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how much effort you want to put through. And because are you good with confrontation? Are you a squeaky wheel? Because
Because you might, as a squeaky wheel, you might get something like some free play or something. I mean, of course, they might not open their arms for you when you came in.
So it really is a personality thing. How much do you want to put into it, and is it worth it to you? And so, it's just one of those things, though, that...
But it's probably not a bad idea just to file the complaint.
Definitely.
Say, hey, I recognize this.
And in your complaint, actually say, hey, I brought it to the attention of the casino.
Right. And they said,
off. Right. So, yeah.
Now, I'm sure they gave her a line. It's like we talked about before when you go up and there's some sign on the freeway that says, you're going to get blah, blah, blah when you go up. Right. And then you go up, oh, we don't offer that anymore. Well, why is there a sign on the freeway? Yeah. They just blow you off. I hate that. They should be more upfront about stuff.
Sure. We all wish that in the service industry, more people would say, I don't know, let me find out, instead of just answering like they know the answer to the question.
Right, just blow you off. That's the worst possible thing you can do.
Yeah. All right, next call. This is from Max. He's going to talk about the parks. This is a very Pennsylvania-heavy episode.
Yeah. Well, we're servicing that part of the country.
That's right.
Hi, this is Max from New Jersey. It's October 19th. I just left Parks Casino in Pennsylvania. I want to give a trip report. Parks, I don't know if you're aware, it's on the suburbs of Philadelphia, so it's 30 minutes north of Philly and about an hour and 10 minutes west of Manhattan. So it's in a nice area right across the Jersey border. I went in there today. It's about noon. They have about 3 craps tables open. They have 8 altogether. So on a Friday night or Saturday, they're all pretty packed. It's a nice atmosphere. Now, the casino itself is nice, but there's no hotel, so don't expect any accommodations or any free room comps. And there's like 3 restaurants. The place really does good out of convenience for people because they really don't offer much. For instance, I get like offers in the mail for free apple pies, you know? They give away that kind of stuff. No joke. Nevertheless, the craps tables were 3, 4, 5 back odds, which is kind of standard in Pennsylvania. I don't see anybody giving out 5 times across the board. But I did notice something kind of weird. I was complaining about, because the point was 4, and I'm like, if it's a $10 table, I can only put 30 in the back. And the guy said, well, if you want, you can increase your pass line bet. So I was not aware you could do that. I've not seen that in Atlantic City. So I can increase my pass line bet and then still do 3 times in the back on the 4 or whichever point you want. And he said, on the don't, you could take your bet off completely, which obviously works in the house favor. But I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was a contract bet, but I guess you can change it up. So that's my trip report. It's a decent place. It's not Atlantic City. It's definitely not Vegas, but I had a good time. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah, you can always take down your don't bet when it's gone up to a number.
It's to your disadvantage
to do so. Yeah,
because
we see people do it. It's a terrible move. It's probably the worst move we see at a table.
You know what's funny about that? When you see somebody make a don't come bet and 6 is rolled,
right,
and they say no action.
Yeah,
they don't want the 6. They leave their don't come bet up there, and 7 comes up.
Yeah, it's just
drives
crazy
me
because if they go up to that 6, they're going to be paid even money for an outcome that is more likely to happen than not.
Right.
6 ways to roll a 7, 5 ways to roll a 6. Right. And you're going to get even money. So it's crazy when people do it. Then that's why they let you do it.
And that's why they let you do it. Exactly.
Now, as far as adding to your pass line bet, yes, they will let you do that because it's to your disadvantage once a point has been made.
It's the exact opposite. It's to your disadvantage.
But sometimes if you can add odds to it, then it might be a good wager. However, in this case, where Max was talking about how they have 3, 4, 5 times odds, and the point was 4, yeah, you could add $5 to your pass line and take another $15 in odds, but you're much better off buying the 4 or even placing the 4 is even
the 4
better.
for $20.
You're going to get more money than if you do it that way.
Right.
So yes, they will let you do that. However, they will not let you do that in Atlantic City. You cannot add to your pass line bet once a point has been established.
Yeah, and I wonder why that came about.
The only thing I can figure, Mike, is that maybe the legislators were trying to protect the player because just
like a drunk player who just adds money.
Just if you're ignoring odds now, if all you're doing is adding money to your pass line bet or maybe making a pass line bet once a point has already been established,
right,
that is bad for the player because you're going to be paid even money on an event that is not likely to happen. It's more likely that a 7
They were probably trying to seriously protect like a drunk guy who walks up and just throws down 100 on something, and he's at a total disadvantage, make him wait for the come out where he at least has some advantage on the come out.
But these are called put bets, and on previous episodes we've talked about how sometimes making a put bet with odds is better than making a place bet. We won't go over that again here, but with the exception of Atlantic City, yes, you can increase your pass line bet once a point has been established.
Now, what do you think? This is a little off the subject. Parks Casino. Mm-hmm. I don't like the way it's spelled.
Oh, with the X?
Yeah, with the X. P-A-R-X.
I thought you liked kind of these exotic names and everything. But that one bugs you?
That one bugs me. It's just because in my head I see Parks and I think P-A-R-K-S.
Yeah.
And it's pronounced the same, correct?
Yeah. I can't believe that you're actually complaining about spelling, which is related to grammar and the English language. Yeah, it's a new you, all right.
All of a sudden, that's become a priority in my life.
Oh, it has it. I'm looking forward to the new Dr. Mike.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. We've got a good all small tall story.
Hi, Dr. Mike and the other guy. Sorry about that. I forgot. Please, all my apologies. I am Jared Johnson. I'm leaving. I'm at McCarran Airport right now. Missed my flight this morning, so I actually had a car come back and get me because I was a goofball, and so I've been in Las Vegas for 8 days, which is a really long time by any standard. I think 8 or 9 nights for free over at the Cosmo, which was also kind of a double booking miracle. Long story short, this morning I basically got a ride back to the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas, and decided to goof around and play. And right about an hour before my car was ready to take me back to the airport again, I was on the craps table playing all tall, small. My thing, and I don't know what you guys do, but I do 5, 25, 5. So I do 25 on the make 'em all and 5 on the end. Figure if it's going to hit, I want it to pay. So hit it within the first 10 minutes. And the hit it was the most amazing part because I ended up coming down to the 10 as my last number. And so one of the things I did was I laid the 10. I laid it for $1,000, seeing that I was going to get $3,750 or at least $500. Secondly, I bet $125 hard 10. Once those bets were set up, I threw the dice, and wouldn't you know it, 5-5, landed a hard 10 right off the bat. So that hard 10 obviously paid quite a bit of the layoff, which was great. So I got a lot of that back. I got the $3,750. Then I basically set up again, because it's time to do it all over again. So I did quarter, 50, quarter, and then I put the dealers on the all tall small 10, 10, 10. And I hit it again, back to back.
Wow.
The second one had to come down to the 12, which was the sweetest way to really get an all tall small, to be honest with you, because you're not laying anything and you're going to get the full payout. So that was absolutely awesome. And so, of course, the dealers were deadly into it at this point once I had already killed the small, and they were looking down the way going, get a 12 here. And actually took quite a few times to finally get that 12. We rolled 11 3 times in a row, many other numbers, even made points, and then finally rolled a 12. The dealers at the cover pot were ecstatic. They had just won almost $2,200. Mike, if you run into Mike's this bigger guy, bald, at the Cosmo. He's working the stick. And he was like, Jared, I got to be honest, you're going to be the only guy we talk about in our employee room for the next month. So I was pretty proud about that. I actually cashed off the game $13,429. So buy-in for $200 to $13,400 was pretty much miraculous. Still sitting here at McCarran, my plane just pulled up, and I simply cannot believe that happened. And of course, the timing, as we all know. When you win money on the way out the door, it's the best time to win anything in a casino. Never good to win it when you just get there. So, and I miss you guys at the Mandalay Bay. I would like to play with you guys sometime, and it would be so much fun. So, anyways, I always listen to the podcast, and hope you guys stay well and keep shooting that all small. Thanks.
Yeah, congratulations, Jared.
Good thing he missed his flight, right?
I know, exactly. I love when he's telling the story how he said it's great to have the 12 as your last point because you can't lay against the 12.
Who does that remind you of?
Oh, my God. It's like you when we're downtown, we're playing at the D, and you're saying, let's go somewhere where they don't have 10 times odds. So, what? Yeah, let's go over to Golden Nugget. They only have 3, 4, 5. And I'm like, what? Yeah, because I lose too much. You feel obligated to bet the max on the odds.
He feels obligated to lay against something because he wants it to come up.
Oh God! And Jared, not knowing my name, I didn't tell you this, but when Frank came up to the table this last week, you weren't there when he came up.
No, where was I?
You were getting more money up at the cage.
That's right. I was getting more money.
So he came up to the table. Seidel's up next to me, and he says, "Are you Kev?" He didn't even get the right podcast.
Well, to be honest, the next day when we saw him at the track the next day, he did say, I was pretty drunk.
Oh, he was.
And he apologized. He said, I hope I wasn't, out of line or anything. He wasn't. He was fine.
Oh, no, he was great. Oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah,
he said, I was feeling it the next morning. So he called you Kev.
Yeah, are you Kev?
Jared doesn't even know your name.
Welcome to my world.
It's usually me that gets ignored.
No, you're the star. You're Dr. Mike.
I usually get ignored.
You're a podcasting legend.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's hear from Joe.
Hey, guys, this is Joe from Indiana. I'm a first-time caller, and just wanted to give y'all a quick trip report. I recently got back from a Carnival cruise to the Bahamas, and I was able to play a couple of different games throughout the week, but specifically wanted to tell y'all about my craps experience and a few other things. Thanks to y'all, I finally had the confidence to walk up to a craps table and know what I was doing. And I'm happy to say I was able to make a little bit of money at it and had a great time. Made a lot of friends there. And it was nice just to chat some people up that weren't so hard-edged on the outside and focus on what they were doing and just lighten the mood a little bit. I was playing predominantly the pass line and then placing the 6 and 8 and occasionally the 10. Every once in a while, throughout some hard way, I was able to hit some of those. And I wasn't playing the all tall, all small, make 'em all. But there was a time when all that was left was the midnight on the all tall, and I was like, what the heck, I'll throw out $1 on midnight. And sure enough, it hit. And so there was a quick $30 right there. And then just for the heck of it, I always hear y'all talking about the horn high ace deuce. And so a couple of times I threw it out there, and sure enough, one of those times the deuce hit and made a quick little bit there. And it was just a fun one to call out. And some people were looking around like, what am I calling over here? But thanks to y'all, I was able to know what all the bets were and understand the game more. So I appreciate y'all and what you do on the show. Secondly, I was able to walk up to blackjack and make a little bit of money there as well. But I found it interesting. It was 6-5 blackjack, which was always frustrating, but it was a $6 minimum bet. I've never really seen that before. I'm originally from Dallas and played at Choctaw and WinStar up in Oklahoma, and I've been to Vegas a few times, but never seen a $6 table. So I appreciate hearing if that's a common thing in other places, or maybe that's just something on cruise ships. And then lastly, one thing that really kind of bugged me throughout the trip was seeing how little some people were tipping the dealers. I mean, I'm by no means a high roller, or I'm very much a low roller, only about $200 each trip to the casino. But every time that I win some money, I at least tip the dealer some. Like I hit $105 on roulette and tipped the dealers $5. Was able to make it 117 my first time on the craps table, and tipped the hot shooter 7 and the dealers 10. And I know it's not a lot, but it's a decent amount, I would like to think, for what I'm making. And I see other people over here with thousands of dollars, and they're hitting it, and it's $5 tip, or they're not even tipping at all. And so that was just a little bit frustrating to see people not taking care of the dealers, because I feel like they're working hard out there, and a lot of it, this is all they're making is the tips we're giving them. So I just feel like it's good etiquette if you're making some money to give some back. But love the show, appreciate what y'all do, and keep it going. All right. Talk soon. Bye.
Yeah, we're big proponents of tipping.
Yes.
Obviously, it's a personal choice, but in many cases, not only about cruise ships, but certainly regular casinos, the dealers are not making that much, and they do rely on tips quite a bit.
I'll repeat this, and I don't know if I said this before, but I was talking to a dealer once about tipping.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just, asking him, like, what do people tip and everything? He said, let me tell you this. If every person who played like at a blackjack table, a craps table, whatever, if they tipped $1 an hour, if every person who sat down at his table just gave him $1 an hour,
yeah.
He said we would make so much money.
Yeah,
it'd be the greatest job ever. Yeah. And if you think about it, it's true.
Sure, you've got that many people.
Especially in places that pull it, and you've got that many people 24/7.
Yeah.
Just $1 an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, and you think about it. That's why when Joe said, it's not that much. It is, Joe. You're tipping a lot.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
because if you give them $10, that's like you played 10 hours and gave them $1 an hour. That's all they really need to do well.
And especially at games like roulette and craps. People do bet on blackjack a lot of times for the dealer. But boy, in craps and roulette, you don't see
a
nearly
lot
as much.
in craps where nobody tips. I mean, the whole night you see people not tipping at all.
Yeah.
And they color up and, they throw them a couple bucks or something. They've been there 7 hours. I mean, just, $1 an hour. If you did that, they'd be fine.
That'd be great. Now, as far as this $6 minimum table, now we have heard about this before, and I'm not sure why they do it, because if you're betting $6, they can't even pay the 6 to 5 correctly.
No.
Because they don't have coins out there on the table. So you really have to go up to $10 before you can even get the correct payout of 6 to 5. So I don't know what their rationale is there. I don't know. It makes it worse.
5's not quite enough. 10 seems a little steep.
It allows them to pay out blackjacks at lower than 6 to 5.
Right.
Because you have a $6 bet, you get blackjack, they're giving you $7.
They're giving you $7
so,
exactly. Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so stupid. $6. Yeah, we offer $6 blackjack, and then we have a quarter table over here.
That's right.
What would you like to play?
That's right. And don't forget to buy in for all the $6 chips we have. That'd be great if they had that. That's what I'd like to see.
It's a big chip. The $6 chip, it's like super size.
And now that I'm actually saying that, maybe that encourages tipping more. Because you've got all those dollars that you have to use up, right?
Yeah, maybe that is.
Maybe
seriously on a cruise ship that might be right. They think okay
because they have to use a lot more dollars.
A lot more dollars encourages tipping.
That could be. All right, next call.
Hello, gentlemen. I just got back from visiting Vegas. I had taken my son there for his 21st birthday. I tried to steer him towards craps, but that was unsuccessful. He just wasn't interested. Anyway, he loved playing roulette, though, and I think him winning the game had a lot to do with it. My question is about craps side bets. I stayed downtown the whole weekend and visited each casino. I was interested to learn that only 2 of the casinos had the all tall and small. and no one else had any of the side bets. I understand there's a licensing fee, but do you think that bets like the fire bet will spread to more casinos or soon go away? Or just what your thoughts are on these side bets? All right, thanks, guys.
I think the all small tall is going to be around for a while. That's very popular.
Very popular.
I don't know about the repeater bet. That's a lot of work, and
It's
we
a
don't
lot of
see
work,
it as
but
many
it's a lot of
places.
money for the casino.
But as far as the fire bet goes, the fire bet is dying.
Yeah.
And I think there are several reasons. Number one, the casino doesn't make as much money on it. Yes, it has a big house edge, but you can only bet it once per shooter.
Right.
Whereas with certainly the repeater bet, you can continue to make the bet. And even the all small tall, a lot more money is going out there.
Right.
Plus, with the fire bet, when the 6 numbers hit, a lot of times the casino has a lot of paperwork to fill out.
Exactly.
Right? And W2Gs.
Right.
Whereas with the all small tall and the repeater bets, the payout is such that they don't ever have to fill out those tax returns because the
Well,
odds
I think
are not
the
as
main
long.
thing with the repeater and with the all tall, all small is that you can have a good roll, you can make your point, and then you hit a 7 on the come out, kills that, and bet, and people bet it again. The casino makes a ton of money.
Right.
Whereas the fire bet, it just sits there.
Just sits there for the whole shooter.
Yeah, for the whole shooter.
Yeah.
And, there's not as much money going in the casino. It's not worth it for them. And it's like you said, and when it does hit, then they got a bunch of paperwork to do.
So I think all small tall is going to be around for a while, but the others not so much. And we may see the fire bet not completely go away, but certainly maybe disappear from the strip.
Yeah.
That's very possible. It's gone from downtown Las Vegas,
right? And it
that's
probably
for sure.
will disappear from the strip
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for taking his son and trying encouraging his 21-year-old son to play craps.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and what can you do? These young kids nowadays, they gravitate towards roulette or something silly like
something
that.
silly
But as
like
a dad, he's doing his due diligence, trying to get him to play craps. And
Yep.
you can only push him so far. He's an adult now.
Yep. Now
he'll learn.
Now, 2 weeks ago, your daughters did not enter the football pool. And so I was thinking to myself, well, good for Mike and Lynn. They're finally saying, look, gambling is a sin. It's not something that you want to.
Oh, we chastised him. I laid into him. Oh, Dad, we're sorry. We forgot. They went to bed hungry that night, my friend.
That just turns out that the way they forgot,
Yeah,
the way the
forgot.
schedule. So and they were back in it the next week.
Yeah, what's funny is Grace almost won this week.
I
too.
know. Yeah, she was very close.
She was very close. God, and she should have won that game. I don't know if you-
come on. The only reason she was in is because there was all sorts of weird games this last week.
Yeah,
It was
well, that's
another
what
crazy
she
week.
likes the crazy picks.
All right, next call.
Hey, Mark and Mike, congratulations on your Vegas win. Well, in Summit, guys. Excuse me. I'm sick. I heard you were doing another Voicemail Palooza episode, so I had a couple questions I wanted to call in and ask. Around episode 133 or 134, you had mentioned doing another Ask a Dealer segment, and I was wondering if you still plan on doing that, because I had a couple of questions I would like to ask a dealer. Myself, I'm an aspiring Advantage player, which means I am currently in training and learning and building a bankroll and trying to stay away in the meantime. And I recall, Mark, you saying a few different times that you used to be a card counter and that you did 2 trips to Vegas as a card counter, one being successful and one not. And I was wondering if you would share any stories from that. I was also curious on card craps like you have in California, if you see people still setting the dice. I had read a little bit into dice setting, and I'm on the fence about it, but I just thought how ridiculous would that be to see that on a card craps table. But then I started thinking, well, maybe they want to practice their dice setting on a card craps table where the outcome of the dice don't affect the game. So, I don't know. I'm having this internal debate with myself thanks to this question I wanted to ask. I guess that's it. Looking forward to the next show. Keep up the good work.
Yes, you do see people setting the dice.
And no, they're not doing it because they want to see, if they can roll certain.
Nobody is practicing dice control or dice influencing.
No, they're doing it because that's what they do.
Right. It's either superstition or they enjoy it. That's fine, but it does seem extra silly when the dice only determine which cards are going to get
Most
turned over.
people, at least here at Harris, Southern California Ring Card, are doing it to annoy me.
Oh God, it is terrible when they really take their time and they're concentrating
God. And I'm sitting there thinking, come on, I need to catch up. I got some catching up to do.
We're only going to be here another hour. What's happening? So, yeah, as far as my card counting trips, this was back in the 90s when you could find a ton of single deck games in Vegas. Not just downtown, but on the Strip. They were everywhere.
Right.
Good rules and everything. Now, I was using a pretty weak card counting system. It wasn't a high-low. It was basically just comparing tens to non-tens. So it wasn't a very good counting system, but it was easy enough to do. And I had, fairly good luck with it. Stories, all I can say is I got heat from a couple of places. One was Golden Gate. I was spreading like $5 to $50.
Yeah.
So I increased to 50, and the dealer immediately shuffled. She was ready to deal, but as soon as I increased my bet, she immediately shuffled. So I left my bet out there, right? Which, you don't want to then pull it back and change it to 5 because then you've really given yourself away as a counter.
No, you should just say, let me change that.
That's right. And I was dealt blackjack. So that was a good feeling,
That's
it's
nice.
like, okay, good. And there was, I think it was Silver City, which is no longer there, right, on the Strip.
Right, no
I think
longer.
I got a little heat there. But, I don't really have that many interesting stories. I do know my favorite place to play during that whole time was Fitzgerald's, which is now the D, because for whatever reason, they dealt the game so fast. It was actually easier for me to kind of keep focus because it
Right.
was so fast. And, man, I got into a rhythm there. So, yeah, like I said on a previous podcast, the first weekend I went, I won a little bit, and the next weekend I lost. And, those opportunities are pretty much gone from Las Vegas. Well, as far as
seemed
single
to
deck
me
and
it would
3-2
be
games.
Very hard card counting if it was a slow game.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Just
it's
too much
true.
other stuff to look at and take your mind off the count,
Yeah.
right?
So I enjoyed doing it, but I never really got very serious about it. It was, I thought maybe I was getting serious about it, but I really should have done a little more research and found a better count, like the high-low count, to actually do it. Maybe I would have made some money, but that was back then. There was no local blackjack. I had to go to Las Vegas to play
Right.
blackjack, so that was my only choice, and I couldn't go there all the time.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. If you live there, it's one thing.
Yeah.
It's if you have to fly there, that's
Yeah,
that's a different story.
Yeah. Now, as far as the Ask a Dealer segment, yeah, we'd like to do it again sometime soon, but we just haven't gotten a lot of feedback from people. I know that Vito has done some great interviews with like the Annoyed Pit Boss, and he also interviewed a dealer. And so maybe a lot of the questions have already been answered. So, if we do get in some more questions, please let us know, and we will contact our dealers, and maybe we'll do
And
another
even
segment.
if we don't do it on here, if he had a question we would just ask.
Yeah, we'd ask we'd ask for him and said, hey, here's what we found out. Yeah.
Right, and we'll tell you what we found out.
Yeah. All right, let's hear from Patrick.
Hey, Dr. Mike and Mark. This is Patrick from D.C. Haven't talked in a while. I got a trip report from Maryland Live that's restored my faith in the longevity of the craps game and casinos. While I was playing at a $15 table, a young couple came up next to me and bought in each for $1,000. As folks were rolling, they had a notepad and for some reason were writing down all the numbers as they were rolled. So it seemed like they were experienced players. When the husband got the dice, he went on a great roll, hitting 4 points. When the point was 8, both the husband and wife started shouting, Decatur, Decatur, Decatur. Of course, the whole craps crew started laughing, and he ultimately did roll the 8. So I'd never heard anyone say Decatur at the craps table before, though it seems like an older term. Hearing a younger generation use it is encouraging. And I won as well, so generally it was a good day, good feeling all around. Otherwise, guys, hey, it was a great afternoon, and got to keep playing. So keep up the great work, guys. Love your show. Bye.
Yeah, Ader from Decatur.
Decatur.
Yeah.
So tell me this, Mark.
All right, sir.
Honestly.
Yeah.
When you're writing down the rolls.
Okay, when I'm actually writing them down.
Yeah, well, or anybody.
Okay, when the generic you is writing.
What are you looking for? Seriously.
Well, okay, people are looking for patterns. That's what they're looking for.
I know that's what they think they're looking for.
Well, you asked. That's the answer. That's
All
what they're looking for.
Well, I can give you a pattern. I can sit here and rattle off numbers out of the top of my head.
Yeah. People like to find patterns when there really are none.
Yeah,
and then
there really are none.
No.
Oh my God, it drives me crazy. We saw a guy not just recently out at Harris, Southern Cal.
Oh my gosh,
that
he was
writing
so
down,
serious about it.
Very serious.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Well, the early caller that we said he was talking about people who are serious at the blackjack table.
Right. Yeah.
Right. He was on the cruise ship.
Yeah, it was Joe. Yeah.
Right. That's another thing that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
If you know basic strategy, how serious do you need to get?
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, for us, it's automatic.
Yeah.
We know when we're hitting, when we're not hitting, any situation. Yeah. So, you don't have to sit there and be super serious and concentrate.
But that's why a lot of people don't like playing blackjack, because your decision, affects everybody else at the table, right? Yeah, that doesn't happen in other games.
Right.
Pai Gow poker, you get your own hand. Craps, you're just rolling. Any of these other games, 3-card poker, right? And there's some people who are at the blackjack table who just get so mad at the way other people play that you don't like playing with them.
Right.
So, yeah,
It's crazy.
I can understand that.
Well, the guy tracking the dice rolls probably gets mad at us, probably thinking, don't these guys see the system here? Don't they see the pattern?
Yeah. So, yeah, craps is not a dying game. Keno's dying.
Keno's dead.
Well, at least a live Keno. The Keno machines, those are.
I still see a lot of people playing Keno on the machine.
Yes, on the machines for sure. Yeah,
seems like every time I go up to a video poker machine that has Keno and all the other
those
stuff,
choices. Yeah,
it's always Keno that's on there.
That they're playing. Yeah, Craps is doing okay. In fact, Card Player Magazine, a recent article, they were saying, I believe it was this last September, the earnings at craps tables was way up.
Right.
So
compared to other games.
Well, compared to craps last year.
Yeah. Well,
okay,
and going up at a higher rate than other games are going up.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I'm talking about this specific article was at least saying the earnings at the craps table were up from the previous year.
Well, I had heard somebody say that in a casino in general, craps was increasing at a higher rate than, say, blackjack or other games.
All right, good.
So younger people are getting interested, basically.
Good. All right. Yeah. So it's here to stay for at least a while.
It's probably dads taking their 21-year-olds.
Yeah, exactly.
To the casino.
Right. Or, dads explaining to their underage daughters how to play the game
how to play
before they enter their picks for the football pool.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Last call from Josh.
Hello there, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is Josh from Texas, and I wanted to call and just drop you a line. I found your podcast through the 500 folks who mentioned y'all's podcast. Kind of found it and been planning a trip to Vegas for a few weeks now, and I just binge listened to a lot of your episodes and just wanted to tell you how much I enjoyed them. Specifically, just all the craps talk. I consider myself somewhat a novice, maybe intermediate type player, but y'all definitely offered some feedback and entertainment, so that'll definitely apply a lot during my upcoming trip. I'm going with a group of about 3 other guys, and they're actually going in town tomorrow today, beg your pardon, for the Breeders' Cup, and I'm not getting until tomorrow, so I'll miss all the Breeders' Cup action, but make it in time to bet some football and also hit the tables, of course. And also your feedback on the win. So I don't play odds too much in craps up until this point, or at least high odds numbers, but your feedback on only offering 2 times as never having been to the win before was definitely helpful, so I'll probably, despite staying at the win, probably avoid playing there too much. Just too many other good options, it sounds like. So thank you, obviously, for that feedback. But otherwise, I'll just keep listening before my trip tomorrow and look forward to hearing more episodes in the future. Thanks. Have a great day.
Good. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, when the Win originally announced that they were going to double odds, a lot of people, we were concerned that might spread to the rest of the strip. And luckily it has not.
It has not.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? You know how many people have told me, we're staying at the Win, but we're not going to gamble.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I've had at least 6 or 7 people say, I like to stay at the Win, but I don't like to gamble.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, nice rooms.
Oh, yeah,
nice environment.
It's
very nice.
Yeah.
But no, they don't want to gamble there, especially craps players, of course.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places close by.
Yeah. Well, it's nice it hasn't spread. Well, in fact, I'm actually pleasantly surprised that 100 times odds has lasted as long as it has at Cromwell.
Right.
So,
we'll see how long that lasts.
Well, but it's been a while now.
It's been a while,
and they're making more changes, right? We talked about how they have single roulette and they've got some full pay video poker, etc.
I wish the casino was a little bigger so they could have another craps
table. Yeah, it would be
table.
nice if it were a little bit bigger, but we do enjoy playing there. So, all right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank some people for some PayPal donations. First of all, from Trevor, he says a karma donation for a guy's trip, getting to Vegas on November 1st. Lots of craps to be played. Mark, use the money to put up a hard 8. Parlay accordingly with Dr. Mike when it hits.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
You should do that.
Thank you, Trevor. Also from John, he says it's a karma donation to one of the best podcasts out there. Thanks, John. For a Vegas trip with my brother-in-law on Veterans Day weekend. Staying downtown.
That's this weekend.
Oh, that's right. That's coming up. Yeah.
Weekend.
Staying downtown, and he wants me to teach him the best way to play craps, which would be Mark's way. Oh, that sounds more
I'm
like it.
I'm surprised he knew your name.
Love your show. Love your show. Keep up the good work. And finally, from Michael, a small karma donation for an upcoming Foxwoods trip. Ooh, Foxwoods.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
I am.
Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program that searches through all the raw American TV data. Just go to youcanbetonthat.com/TV-listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at youcanbetonThat and on Facebook at facebook.com/youcanbetonThat. Finally, please go to your favorite podcast app and write a review on us. We love getting your feedback. What do you got for us, Dr. Mike?
Well, I wanted to say, and I was talking to you earlier this week about this, I got a thing from the D.
Oh, yeah.
Like a little flyer, you know how they always send stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just another,
Just a little mailer for
some giveaway or something. And all it was thanking me for coming to the summit.
Yes.
And how, they liked having us there and hosting us. It was really, really nice.
I agree. I assume they got names from maybe people who signed up for the slot tournament.
Maybe.
I'm not sure because, we had to give them our cards for that. But that was very nice. That's all it was just thanks very much for coming to the summit.
Right.
Had the summit logo on the front and everything.
We enjoyed having you. We look forward to seeing you again.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was Derek Stevens who decided to do that or if it was their marketing department, but that's class.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
That's a very class act.
Yeah.
And, you don't see that a lot.
No.
And now we usually don't go in large groups. They're not going to say, hey, thanks for coming, Mike.
Yeah, with your picture on the front.
Yeah. Now, usually, though, like Caesars will send you a survey thing.
Afterwards, sure, in the email that you fill out.
They want to know, how was your experience and stuff like that, which I got to be honest, I don't fill those out a lot, but I do appreciate that they send that because that means in some way they care about us.
Right.
But the D, it costs money to print that up and to mail it and everything.
Yeah, that was
and
nice.
they did that. That was excellent.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, thanks for listening.
Good night.